I think I was able to push it public, so I think we're public now.
Oh, I had it public on mine. I don't know why you're not able
Over
to
my
get
head.
public straight away on yours, Michael J.
It's the new thing. It's the new thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another Tuesday episode of MJ and Kate on, and today is National Fire Prevention Month. It's 9 a.m. and we're live, hopefully, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, as well as and LinkedIn and Twitter. So if you are on any of those, you should be able to see us live and in person. If you are watching the show, go ahead and put down in the comments where you're watching from, and we'll be able to add you to the show. Today we have a special guest, and Kate's going to introduce our special guest in just a moment, and you'll be able to ask questions live. So I don't know if I can wear this. Why are we wearing these fire hats, Kate?
So today is National Fire Prevention Week. And well, we're celebrating it because it's Tuesday. But so anyway, we're going to talk about fire prevention. And Michael J got these awesome, cool hats that are way too small for both of our heads. I think they fit like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So we will not be running into any buildings today to save anyone because that is not our job, thankfully. You'd be in a world of trouble. But we have an excellent guest today joining us from the Grand Rapids Fire Department. We have, how did you do that slide, Michael J, or is that on your other computer?
No, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Here you go.
There we go. We have Captain Will Smith. He is the Public Information Officer, part of the Strategic Planning Office with the Grand Rapids Fire Department. And we are going to share some time with him. He has a very busy schedule, so we are blessed that he was able to squeeze us in this morning and give all of our audience some tips. And I don't know if they're really tricks, but ways that we need to be prepared to prevent fires from happening, what we should do in the event a fire should happen. And with the holidays coming around, I know trees are a big cause of fire. And in the insurance world, Captain Smith, fires have gone up since people started working in their homes. We've had a lot more insurance claims due to house fires. So hopefully there's some tricks that we can teach all of these careless at-home employees from burning their own houses down. Because they had much better safety protocols in place at their offices, apparently, that did not allow for such tragedy to strike. But in all seriousness, Captain Smith, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for allowing us to join in with you today, and we appreciate you getting the safety messaging out to your listeners.
Yeah,
Definitely. So, Kate, you just going to jump in with the questions, or?
yeah. Well, sure. We were talking to Captain Smith backstage, and just a few things. He's a transplant from Florida, so he's lived here long enough, though, to know that winter's just around the corner, and we may not like it, but we can live through it for another
Yeah,
year, right,
that's true.
Captain Smith?
Absolutely, we're all going to make it.
Yes, we will all make it. So, with it being Fire Prevention Week, what are a few things that homeowners tend to neglect that lead to fires that we should be more aware of?
Well, we're concerned with community risk reduction. Okay, so we do track what causes our fires here in the city of Grand Rapids. We do investigate. We rely upon primarily our response crews to give us that determination. However, there are times that the investigators have to go out and figure it out. Where we're at right now, the state of Michigan, is we're seeing, again, a trend in improper discarding of smoking material. That is the number one killer. That is the number one ignition source that we have to contend with. So what are some of our recommendations if you're a smoker in the home? Have a non-combustible receptacle, an ashtray, glass, metal, to discard your smoking material. Make sure that you empty it periodically, that it doesn't accumulate those discarded cigarette butts or cigar butts, what have you, that you are practicing good housekeeping for those things. and that you don't have an unwanted fire because you have an ignition source that was left in a couch or a planter or anything else that's combustible, flammable. We just that is the easiest thing to do, is separate your ignition sources from your combustible, flammable material. With that, moving into the winter, as you also gleefully, we have, of course, our heating needs that occur out there. Some people have to employ the use of portable heaters. Electric is our number one heater out there, but we have to do so in a safe manner. Many times I've investigated fires. Those heaters were the cause, and it's because they were too close to combustible material. Always keep things 3 feet away from your little portable heater. That's very important. And make sure the wires are connected properly, that you don't have any frayed or electrical taped type moments with your extension cord or your electrical cord from your appliance to your wall. Always direct them right into the plug, never into a multi-plug or extension cords or anything of the sort, because that can create some resistant heating, and that is another good ignition source for a fire.
Okay, so I have a really quick question because I want to make sure my brain processed this, because I'm pretty sure I violated this multiple times. I should not put my space heater attached to my power strip or extension cord. It should go straight into the wall.
Straight to the wall, direct plug into the outlet.
Okay, yep. I can guarantee that I have not followed that bit of advice. So thank you for that. Now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know. So definitely gonna be evaluating if I'm gonna keep the space heaters in my house, because we usually just keep them in our basement so that we can enjoy that space.
Now, are there special cords you can buy that will work with space heaters?
Well, here's the issue. What people tend to do is use the very small gauged residential type extension cords that are meant for lamps or small draw appliances. And that's where we come into trouble. So it's our stance, plug them right into the wall.
Okay. Okay. So, talking about that, what if you, what are some safe ways that we can extinguish a fire on our own if that were to happen in the house?
Okay, so this is going to sound a little funny, but the best way is to prevent the fire from happening in the first place, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So be aware of what you're doing. Cooking is another issue out there. Unattended cooking. You mentioned people working from home now. Of course, we're seeing an influx back into the regular workplaces and spaces. So we did have some issues with unattended cooking. People get distracted by what they're doing on their computers as their workday progresses, and they may be fixing lunch or dinner, breakfast, what have you, and they're distracted. So distracted cooking is another problem. So when you want to engage, if you have a fire with a fire extinguisher, number one, make sure you know how to use a fire extinguisher. Grabbing it out of the box and reading the directions as the fire is growing, wrong time to be learning about fire extinguishers. We do recommend having a type ABC chemical extinguisher in your home, and something that's readily accessible. Trying to dig it out from under the cabinet, and it's buried behind the trash, or whatever else you got going. I know where mine's at. It's in my coat closet, right? So I can reach it pretty quick, and it's away from my kitchen. So where we have the potential to have a fire in the kitchen, I've purposely put that extinguisher in a different room so I can grab it. And you might wonder, why would he do that? I want to make sure my exits are clear. How to get out of the home is paramount when you have a fire. So if you have a small fire, it's in incipient stage, and you are confident with your extinguisher use, that you may proceed. But if it gets beyond that point where things are getting a little hot, heavy, smoky, get everybody out. Just get out, call 911, go to your safe place, have everybody there so that when we arrive, we know your occupants are accounted for, and we don't have to go into rescue mode. So that's really the paramount thing here with fighting fires. know that you could cause problems for yourself in a cooking fire situation where you have grease. We still have people try to dump water on a grease fire. That does not go well for them. The water, number one, will go right to its boiling point and create steam. And when water moves into that state of matter, of steam or vapor, it expands 1,700 times. So think about what a cup of water will do once it hits its boiling point and it's turning to steam. It is pushing all that vapor out. All that vapor that's on fire is now huge, and it's going to be catching things outside of that vessel that it was originally cooking with.
You mentioned smoke detectors just a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
And something I recently learned, and I'm wondering if this is accurate, is the smoke detector, because it's also a combination smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, that
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily it doesn't serve you best when it's up really high, but that it should be more like eye level somewhere, so that that's where the carbon monoxide is at, not necessarily floating up high in the sky. Is that correct?
So carbon monoxide is it's a little bit heavier than normal air, but not much. So what you're asking is, where is it best detected? You're correct. A CO2 is best. A CO2 detector, I should say, or alarm, is best when it's about mid level into your home. So yeah, there is a concern for that, but important to note that the appropriate amount of smoke alarms, working smoke alarms in your home, is the best thing to have. So when you have those carbon monoxide detectors, if you have it a little bit higher, that's going to be okay. But we do recommend a smoke alarm in every room and in every common area. Excuse me, every bedroom, every common area, and areas where you gather: living room, family room, dining room. Maybe not having it in the kitchen because I don't know about you, I love bacon, and every time I cook bacon, my alarm goes off. So
Ah.
I had to relocate it, which is absolutely fine. So your carbon monoxide, yeah, good call. I have them separated. I have carbon monoxide and smoke alarms, but a combination, that's not a bad idea either.
Okay.
So we're talking today with Captain Smith of the Grand Rapids Fire Department, and one of the other questions that we had on our list for you today was, if we need to call 911, what are some of the things that we should be doing before the fire truck arrives on the scene?
So, right now we're in the midst of Fire Prevention Week, and our crews are out engaging with second grade classes, and we're giving them lots of great information that they're taking home, hopefully, and sharing with their parents and their family. We like to make kids junior fire marshals and have them work through that exercise with their families. So, parents, if your children bring some information home about fire drills in the home and smoke alarms and every other thing that we can think of to keep our kids safe and you safe, engage your children. Let them show you what they know, what they learned, and have that good group discussion. Always have two ways out of a home and a common meeting place and a way to communicate with the fire department or 911. So those are some of the preemptive things that you can do, of course, with fire prevention activities when in your home. So if you do experience a fire, and it is best that when you have early notification and you engage 911 quickly, that is the best option. Of course, getting out of that space that is placing you in peril. So detection or get out, call us. All right. So pretty simple stuff.
You mentioned that when we were backstage, that right now there is the fire department, the Grand Rapids Fire Department, is doing something really cool with giving away um, fire or smoke detectors, smoke alarms. Um, how is that funded, and is there a way that our audience can get involved with that?
So that's a wonderful question. Thank you for asking it. Yes. In Grand Rapids, we have started what we call the residential safety program with a home safety assessment back in 2022. We have engaged over 10,000 homes or homeowners and installed over 65,000 smoke alarms in people's homes. And we're nearing 10,000 carbon monoxide detectors that we're able to procure. Now, some of the money that we've relied upon to fund those operations come from FEMA. So the American Fire Grants do assist, but they're not guaranteed. So there's times where we have our general fund and our fire department will purchase equipment and personnel to assist with these operations. But we just now came up with the Grand Rapids Fire Prevention Foundation, and as a 501(c), it is on our Facebook. We actually have a Facebook page for that foundation where people can contribute, and I believe your entity actually already did contribute, and so that's a good thing. A lot of insurance agencies get involved with fire prevention activities, and we're very thankful for that. So we do have a mechanism of a 501(c) that will allow for those funds to come in from general public, and we do spend that money on equipment and prevention materials and purchasing those education moments where we can kind of spread the wealth of our knowledge.
Michael J., you shared a picture just a second ago. What was that a picture of?
That safe meeting space outside of the house that you're looking for when you get out of the house, that some of the kids have already pre-planned or you're as a family. When Captain Smith was talking about, letting the kids lead and finding space. So have that safe space outside that can do that. Here's my kiddos a few years back. We went to one of these fire prevention expos, and one of the things we learned was where to go and get safe space.
Yeah. So we have a 2-story house, and back in the day when my son was younger, he was totally convinced that he was going to just jump out. He's like, and he probably still today would say he's 15 and it would actually be safer for him to do it now. But he has like the porch roof is right outside his bedroom window, and he's like, if a robber comes, he's going to attack the robber and save us, and if a fire comes, he's going to have no problem just jumping out his bedroom window and he will save us. And we're like, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't jump out your bedroom window like that. However, right now we don't even have the ladders installed on our windows because the thought of climbing out of my bedroom window is for some reason more terrifying to me than running through my house that's catching on fire. So how do I get my mindset right, Captain Smith? Because I know I'm wrong.
No, not necessarily wrong, but let me say this about when we're sleeping. We know that most of the fatal fires here in Michigan are about over 60%. The fatal fires are occurring between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So while we're asleep, right? Sleep with your door closed. Do you sleep with your door closed? Raise your hand if you do. Wonderful. Encourage everybody else in the house to do that too, because that compartmentalizes your sleeping quarters away from the risk. So if you have a fire out in the living room, where we know that's predominantly where we're having our fires start, having that door shut can buy you time to deploy that ladder off your second story window and be able to get out and go to your common meeting place and call 911. So that's the critical takeaway for these things. You mentioned your son going out on a roof and then jumping down. You know what? I wouldn't attempt that now. I'd break something. I would definitely want my rope ladder out the window. But kids, they're like springs, right? So
right. What's a broken leg?
Better than the alternative,
Yeah.
So kids ask us that every day. Can I go out the window? If you can do so in a safe manner, please do. Always use your primary exit though if you can. So with that door shut, right, it's going to buy you time. Smoke alarms go off, you get alerted to the fire, you go and check the door. You're going to touch the door with the back of your hand or the doorknob, make sure it's not hot. If you see smoke coming out from it or flames, it's probably not the way you want to go. So find that second exit in the space that you're at.
Okay. So, Captain Smith, what else can we do in our home? Assuming maybe I'm hoping that the smoking population has gone down, so we're not having lots of people putting cigarettes out in their trash can instead of a non-combustible area. Are there other things that we should be aware of? I mean, I learned the whole about the space heater issue. I had no idea. I would have
Mhm.
continued to do that forever. Is there anything else that we should kind of be aware of to help prevent the fires from starting in the first place?
So while we're on the subject of space heaters, when you retire for the evening, turn them off, unplug them. My
Mhm.
wife is vigilant about that. I get chastised if I leave something in the plug. So she's super cautious about that. Shut them down, keep them away from combustibles, but making sure they're in good repair. And any electrical appliance that you have that should be in good repair. Um, Pay attention to your electrical service panel. If your breakers keep tripping,
Mm.
don't just keep going over there and flipping the breaker. You've got an issue with that circuit. You may be trying to bring too much or drawing too much from that system. Okay, so if you think about a 15 amp breaker or a 20 amp breaker, um, those, if they're tripping, your house is telling you something. Listen to your house,
Oh,
for lack of a better term.
yeah.
If those are tripping, you've got a problem, get a licensed electrician to come check it out. If you're having problems with your HVAC system, your heater and your air conditioner, have licensed individuals come out and do an investigation for you. That may be the difference between being here and not being here.
Hmm.
So you really have to pay attention to what's going on in your home. And while we're on that subject, you know what happens in the winter, we get ice storms. A lot of people have to use alternative power sources like generators. We want to make sure that people don't park their generators inside the home, in the garage that's attached, anywhere near a door or window. At least keep a 10-foot clearance away from those spaces where we're grabbing air from the outside into your home. So that's another one that we need to really pay attention to, is what we're doing for alternative power sources when those ice storms hit and take out our lines.
So what I hear you saying is when we have our Thanksgiving day before garage party in our neighborhood, I should not use my propane space heater in my garage. Is that what you're saying?
That's that's not a good idea to be using a portable LPG fueled heater in your garage. That makes me a little nervous.
Okay.
So
Just put it
don't
at
do
the
that.
entry. Keep it
Well,
out.
that
Keep it
kind
out a
of
little
defeats
bit.
the purpose, right? I like had this whole vision in my head that I would be putting. I could probably show you what it looks like. It's new. I just got it. I would.
Mhm.
My husband would not let me do that, for the record. He is the risk averse person in our family, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh, it's a little fire. It'll be fine, says the
So
insurance lady.
yeah, manufactured specifications. Get that little book out and read the book, and somewhere in there is going to tell you not to do that.
Yes.
So
Oh, thank you, Michael J. There's the link right there,
There you go.
for some fire prevention information. And then we'll also share that link to the Grand Rapids Fire Prevention Foundation, to get you some awareness out there. I think that's an excellent program. And I'm also kind of surprised that you've been able to install 10,000 carbon monoxide and over 6,000. I just never lived in a house that didn't have smoke detectors.
yeah, and you know that's a good point. So many times we take those systems or those devices for granted. A
Hmm.
lot of people really are still living out there without those simple safety devices, and we recognize the need very early on to be able to do something to change that the fire deaths we were experiencing here in the Grand Rapids. Um, and it was tragic. Showing up and really feeling helpless when we've experienced a tragedy that was avoidable. It takes a toll on us. So, with that residential safety program, Grand Rapids firefighters are out there installing them in people's homes. We weren't just handing them out. Um, we were doing it the right way and teaching people the right way. And now, in continuance, it's their turn to step up. But if you need a fire smoke alarm, contact 311 and we'll set you up here in GR for that. But there's also areas outside of Grand Rapids that if you call that number, they can transfer you over. American Red Cross is involved, and there's several other fire departments that have programs similar to Grand Rapids. So reach out. Don't be silent in something like this, because we can help you avert tragedy.
Did I spell that right?
You did, Michael J. Nice work.
We call them smoke alarms, but hey, you know what? That's great. So,
last
thank you for
week
doing
we
that.
talked about dyslexia, and so yeah, if you saw last week's episode, you know that spelling's not my strong suit.
Yeah, we definitely encourage having working smoke alarms in your home.
So, um, Kate, you want to go ahead and wrap us up here for our time that we have?
Yes. Well, Captain Smith, thank you again so much for sharing your morning with us.
Mhm.
Captain Smith is with the Grand Rapids Fire Department in their strategic planning division, and he is the chief information. Nope, I got it wrong again. I did it. He's the information officer, which is why he has all this wealth of knowledge and can actually share it so articulately and without judgment when I tell him I want to put my propane thing in my
Well,
garage. So I just have to imagine that there are other silly people out there that also, like their little grease things for their turkeys at Thanksgiving when those started becoming popular, caused quite a bit of havoc for your team.
yeah,
Don't
we
have
agree.
those in your garage either, right?
No, don't have
Driveway.
them in the garage. Have them away from your home. Make sure you've done the right things in measuring how much cooking oil you need. That the turkey itself isn't frozen, because just another state of matter with water. What happens when it hits its boiling point? Right, turns to steam, throws all that grease-laden vapor up in the air and ignites, and we're off to the races.
There you go.
Yes. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to share with us, Captain Smith, before you're on with the rest of your day?
Well, I could probably go on for hours with this, but let's not. I do have other work to do. I just want to say thank you for your interest in fire safety during Fire Prevention Week 2022. We truly appreciate you inviting us on your show, and we hope that your listeners have picked up some information that they're going to maybe change some of their own risks, and that direction is going to go up and survive any kind of incident that you are put forth with fire.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Captain Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
So,
Oh, get my big head off of there, Michael J. There we go.
so we mentioned that the kids went to when they were younger. They did some.
There you go. Here, put your forward. There you go. Nice.
So there's Kaylin. She had some fun with fire stuff when they went to the thing, and so they're not this young anymore, but
They are not that young
they're not that
anymore.
young anymore. But yeah, they enjoyed their pink thing. There's Kason in the fire truck, and of course there was a shot there with them with the hose. So
Where is Castleberry?
Castleberry is in Florida. So this picture is different. This safety picture is different than the other one because it was two different times that we were there. So,
Oh, gotcha.
Kate, you're gonna have to take this down because my mouse went away and now it won't come back to the right screen. So you'll have to take down the picture. There you go. You just get rid of that. Close that slide if you just would close it.
It's. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my
On
mouse
the
is all
side,
connected.
yeah.
There we
you
go.
Okay,
Hallelujah.
yay! So, yeah, so that was episode 41. Thank you so much for Captain Smith, who was with us and talking about Fire Prevention Week. Kate is a licensed insurance agent here in the Grand Rapids area and or in Michigan, I guess, right? So
Yes, I'm
you can
licensed in all of Michigan.
you can give Kate a call to talk about your insurance needs and questions. And also, if you know anybody who's moving next, whether it's a family member or something, or someone you know, I'll be glad to help them out. And any other parting shots, Kate?
We will see you back again next week, same time, same place on
9
your
o'clock
live streaming
Tuesday
channel.
live stream. We'll be talking about chiropractic care. So.